You know, most of us have heard people make the statement, never ask God why. Well, why not? Why would somebody say that? You know, the Bible even says that Jesus asked God why. When he was upon the cross, he said, my God, why have you forsaken me? The problem is not when we ask God why. The problem is when God answers us, we don't want to do what he says because we don't like the answer.
Which is why I ask you Christians why, not God. God isn't here, and even if this God exists, I know he's supposed to be omnipotent and all that fun shit, so there's no escaping him. Again, if this God does exist. You Christians are the ones who are in the world's way, and I know there's no getting around that reality, so I simply settle with giving you people as much of a hard time as I can, since you guys want to be losers. You Christians are the ones on social media, out in the streets, in politics, all preaching what you believe to be the gospel, which you also claim to be good news. Of course, I know none of you Christians ever have actual answers, let alone sensible ones. Every answer you people utter is vague and questionable, and I know it's all deliberate because even you people know it's all bullshit. You would all behave differently if you actually did believe in this religion.
People say all the time, well, God will never give you anything more than you can bear. That is nonsense. God will give you more than you can bear, because if you could bear it, you wouldn't need God. That's the whole point.
Why do you want to bear anything, and why do you want everybody else to also bear anything? Why does God want us to bear anything, and why do you agree with this God?
Trials, the problems that we go through, the times in life when we do want to question God, that's when we need him the most.
How does needing the God who created us so flawed that we all experience problems and hardships, which are often caused by other people who are mentally ill or psychologically inept, like you, Greg, make any sense? This video being about asking God why, not being able to figure out that the reason why is because God is a sadistic sociopath, means you're very slow.
So it's not wrong to ask God why. It's wrong when we ask him why, but then we don't want to do it because we don't like the answer. And so some of you right now, you just want to throw up your hands and be like, God, why am I dealing with this? That's okay. He can handle that.
No, it's just us not worshiping him that he can't handle, or indulging in the many things that he prohibits, which is why he needed to create hell, along with the sacrifice to make it possible for us to avoid that place. So, why do you like God's answers? How are God's answers reasonable and good?
I realize what I'm about to say is going to upset some of you, but if you'll listen to this 43-year-old pastor, I promise you this will change your life. God never promised to bless the person that you pretend to be. He promised to bless the person that he made you to be. We're living in a world where everybody is fake. There's no authenticity. We think.
So, you want everybody in the world to all be miserable and angry, hateful psychos like you? If so many people are fake, remember, God is the human designer and creator.
Oh, they have the perfect life. They have the perfect home. They have the perfect marriage. No, they had the perfect filter on Instagram. It took them 55 shots to get that perfect picture that you're so envious of. You know, these girls get on TikTok and trash themselves out, have to show their butts and their boobs and think to themselves, that's going to get me clicks. No, that's just going to cheapen you. Be who you are. You were born an original. Don't die a copycat. Stop living in this fake social media world because you crave people.
I actually do agree with this, but who the fuck are you to lecture anybody about anything, Greg? I'm not saying you're fake about anything, but you're far worse than those who are. You've sold your own kind out to a cosmic mob boss for the reward of heaven. These people on social media are only after attention. They exploit themselves for views and or money. Christianity is about fear, guilt, shame, and hate. None for any valid reason.
Attention. If you live for people's approval, you will die when people reject you. Be who you are. You are precious and you are valuable.
Again, you live for God, yet you sit there telling people to stop living for other people's approval. You're far worse though, because you want people to burn eternally for not accepting Jesus. Also, at least these social media frauds don't preach. Most, if not all of them, are probably stuck up and won't talk to people. Christians are the opposite. They're full of themselves, but are very judgmental on behalf of a third party.
You know, it doesn't take us very long to figure out that life is filled with trouble. Some time ago, I wrote a poem about trouble. My troubles have come and my troubles have gone, and more trouble is on the way. One thing is for sure, my troubles endure, for my trouble will meet me today. So often I've tried just simply to hide my face from its long gazing stare, yet running my best from east to the west, I find that my trouble's still there. From dusk.
That's because you need to deal with those troubles. Those troubles intensify and affect other people when they're neglected. You also have to learn from your mistakes to minimize them.
Until dawn, my troubles roll on, and it seems like my troubles won't end. But then as I look in the words of God's book.
What does God's book have to do with anything? Your personal problems are on you. You take responsibility. God caused the problem because he's a dictator. You're the problem because you enable God instead of denying him, even if God is real. If God is real, there is no escape because you were born against your will, so you can only accept the consequence of hell, which God created. Christianity causes problems for many people, and there's nothing they can do about it because Christians are cowards as they corner people. They are cowards because they hide behind this religion, money, or power, as they politically oppress, discriminate, and hurt financially. You Christians will never listen or stop, though, and you're the majority in America, so nobody can do anything about you.
I find there that trouble's my friend. You see, ladies and gentlemen, God never gives us trouble to hurt us. He gives us trouble to help us, to remind.
Why did God create us to need his help, and why do you accept this? Why do you not hold God accountable for creating us so flawed instead of preaching for him? God is good and benevolent? Why did God create us flawed then? How is punishing us for not loving and worshiping him helpful and beneficial?
Us that we are weak, he is strong.
How is the desire for obedience to the point of everlasting torment for disobedience a form of strength?
There is no power without the process. But let me tell you something about things not being good. When things aren't good, God still is.